I got the permission.
Good.
Lanir, shall we start?
Yes, you can start.
Okay. Good morning to all of you. Today we have not given any topic. So what we are going to see and discuss today. So we have already seen that we have no duty psychologically within ourselves. Sometimes good emotion may come, bad emotion may come. We need not deal with any of our emotions. So whatever duty is only in the external world. But the external world is a very complicated world. We have to face many complicated situations. But each and every situation reflect within ourselves as psychological emotions. It may be the cause for our psychological reaction, psychological emotions. So even though we have no business related directly with relation to our psychological emotions, but we have to deal in the external world in a proper way. So what we have to do in a given situation? There may be many situations. So if anybody wants to discuss with any of such kind of some problematic situation, what we have to do with related to the situation, then only we can place our psychological reflection in a normal way. So for example, if we meet the situation in a not in a proper way, it may reflect. It may create some unwanted emotions. So if we meet the situation in a proper way, some good emotion may come. The situation may have some relationship with our emotions. So what we have to do, in how we can face the situation, is there any regulation in meeting the situation? So we have to discuss in some of the situation on your point of view. So you may face the situation in your own way. So if we can analyze whether the approach is correct or we have to improve our approach. And in that way, we can discuss. Today, we can move to some of your situations and we can discuss what is our approach and what could be our approach. In all the possible way we can think. Lanir, you can say the introduction aspect in your own language, and you can invite questions.
אוקיי. אז שרי בגבת מזמין אותנו הבוקר לדבר על סיטואציות חיצוניות. לגבי העולם הפנימי כבר ראינו שאנחנו לא צריכים להתערב או לשנות שום דבר לגבי מה שעולה בתוכנו. אבל לא בחנו לעומק את הסיטואציות החיצוניות שעומדות בפנינו. ושרי בגבת מזמין אותנו לדבר על סיטואציות בחיים שלנו, שבהם היינו צריכים להתמודד עם מצבים, ואיך התמודדנו איתם, ואז נוכל לנתח ולבחון אם התמודדנו בצורה טובה, בצורה נכונה, או שלא, בהתאם לראייה של שרי בגבת. אז אם יש לכם איזושהי סיטואציה חיצונית בחיים, שאתם תוהים אם אתם מתמודדים איתה בצורה נכונה, או אתם רוצים לשאול איך צריך להתמודד איתה, אז זה הזמן. אז מי שרוצה לדבר, שיפתח את המיקרופון וידבר.
אני יכולה לניר?
כן, גלי, באנגלית.
Okay. I have a situation in life that is happening again and again and again with the men, with relationship with men. And it goes like this. I'm in a relationship with a man. It doesn't go well. And then it ends. But after it ends, after it finishes, I all the time think of the man, all the time. It's like I live with the man, I am with the man, I'm not really going. Physically, I'm going, but all the time, my inner experience is longing. I don't get what I want. Always I wait for, always I'm with the man. I think of the man. I long for the man. I experience a sense of, I experience a sense of a lack. Like part of me is always with the man. And I don't really succeed to let go. And in a way, it's like I live with a knife in my heart. Like in my heart, there is a constant knife, constant pain. And in the outer situation, I finish the relationship, but in the inner world, I don't succeed to finish it. I continue. And that's it.
Whether the relationship with the man, whether he is a life partner or some other person.
לניר, מה הוא אמר? אני לא הבנתי.
Shri Bagavath, did you mean to ask if the man is a partner?
Life partner, husband or some other person.
הוא שואל לי אם הבן אדם הוא, יודעת, בן זוג או מישהו אחר.
לא, תגיד לו שזה מישהו אחר, שזה מושא אהבה שאף פעם לא מתממשת. איך אומרים את זה?
אבל זה בן אדם אחד?
What is your answer?
She said he is not a husband, but he used to be is a male friend, but it never came to fruition.
To manifestation. You know, I was married twice. I had two husbands. And then I have this man for like almost 20 years, but it doesn't succeed to manifest. It always not manifested. And in the end, I finish the relationship or he finishes it, but I don't really finish it. I always live with him, think of him all the time. I go to sleep with him, waking in the morning with him, in my mind, in my heart. So just let me tell you.
Understood.
What?
I understood.
Understood. Okay.
So, for example, if he may be a husband or some close relation, or close friend, whatever may be. So when we have the relationship with that person, we have some relationship. And we are freely exchange our views with the other person, and we are open to each other. In that time, some misunderstanding, some dispute may also came. There is also possibility some mutual dispute may be there, but in that time we can freely express whether he may be a husband or some friend. We can freely express because that is the friendship, that is the relationship. So with the help, with the right of relationship, with the right of friendship, we can express our view. We can sometimes the other person may be right, sometimes he may be wrong, and we may be wrong sometimes, we may be right sometimes. But anytime we can freely express our view without any reservation. That is the friendship. That is a sign of friendship.
But I want to tell you something. When I express myself and I tell him what I think or what I feel, he don't like it when I talk. He want to pretend that we have no relationship, no love. So if I try to open things and to talk, he go. And then I'm insulted and then I go. And it goes like this for 20 years. And now again, he go, I go, no relationship, but in my heart, the same relationship. It continues. I don't succeed to let go. I try, I let go in the physical level, but in my heart, always with him, connected.
So here, one point we have to give importance, that is, for example, the relationship may be a mother and son. We cannot go away from each other. We have to live jointly. But at the same time, some clash may be possible. Sometimes we may be right, the other person may be right, or some dispute may be there. In that time, we can freely express. But at the same time, we should not lose the relationship. The relationship must be there. With the help of the relationship, we can fight with each other. There is no problem about it. So whenever we have some disputed ideas, disputed matter may be there, we can express our dispute. We can exchange our views. There it may be a quarrel, doesn't matter, but it must be over. But it does not mean that we have to leave each other. We have to have the relationship within ourselves. The relationship with the help of the relationship, we can fight with each other. Does not matter. But it must be a momentary. But after the quarrel is over, we have to forget so what is happened, what is over. We have to give full stop to that. We should not carry over anything. Psychologically, everything must be free. Moment by moment, it must be new. And what is finished must be finished.
Wait, Lanier, can you please explain? Translate?
הוא דיבר על יחסים בין אימא לבן, לדוגמה, יחסים קרובים, שבו אתה מביע את הרגשות שלך באופן חופשי, אבל זה הכל במסגרת היחסים. זאת אומרת, אתה יכול לריב, ואתה יכול לצעוק, ואתה יכול לעשות כל מיני דברים, אבל כשזה נגמר, אז זה נגמר. לא מפרקים את היחסים, לא הולכים. זה מה שהוא דיבר בינתיים.
So, I didn't understand. So,
תני לו להמשיך, בוא נראה, אולי
בסדר,
הוא
אוקיי. אוקיי.
So here we should not we could not cut short cut our relationship. The relationship must be there. We have to establish our relationship with the other person. So only actually only because of a relationship alone, after the quarrel is over, you think about the other person. That means you have some regard with that other person. So it is a sign of a relationship. So, but that means we have to have the relationship. We should not get away from the relationship. Relationship must be there. But at the same time, we should not carry over the quarrel. The quarrel must be, you may express our view, it may have some dispute. That is what is over, it must be over. We need not carry over anything. The quarrel must be finished when it is over. You should not carry over the quarrel within ourselves.
Elanir, can you please translate?
כן, שרי בגבת פשוט אמר שהוא דיבר על היחסים שהם בעצם לא משתנים בעקבות מריבות, לא משתנים בעקבות ויכוחים. בערך אותו הדבר עדיין לא הגיע למה שאת שאלת.
But Sri Bagavath, I want to tell you, I tried everything. I tried to talk. I tried to solve the relationship. I didn't want to go, but it's like I have no partner. And it is always like this in my relationship with men. I have no partner that is willing to go the path together, to talk, to understand. It's like I don't have a partner. I think it's like if I didn't want to leave the relationship, but when I start to talk, the men don't want. He want me not to talk about the relationship. But in the relationship, I'm always insulted. I always don't get what I want. So it's like, and when I try to talk, he go. I don't want him to go, but he goes. So what can I do?
So here, the other person, we cannot command, we cannot take control over anything. But anyhow, when we do not carry over any accusation within ourselves, any criticism within ourselves, slowly it will establish a relationship, because we are open. Moment by moment, we forget the past. If you easily forget the past, automatically the other person will know the character of ourselves, and it will have some relationship with each other.
Lanier, can you please translate?
הוא דיבר על זה שאנחנו בעצם צריכים הצד השני, כמובן שאנחנו לא יכולים לפקד עליו, להגיד לו מה לעשות. אבל שאנחנו בעצמנו צריכים להיות חופשיים מהעבר, ממה שקרה.
But Sri Bagavath, I experience it not as past, I experience it as present. It is present in my heart now, not in the past. I live it like present. That's what I don't understand. I don't succeed to let go. And you know, it's not the first time. So for me to let go, sometimes 20 years to let go. After I divorced, to let go from my husband, 12 years. Many, many years till I let go.
Sangeeta, என்ன சொல்றாங்க? Kindly unmute.
Sangeeta.
சரிங்க. இப்ப கேக்குதாங்க? ஹலோ?
Yes.
என்ன சொல்றாங்க?
ஒரு ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்ல இருந்தாங்க, அது முடிஞ்சிருச்சு. ஆனா அவங்க மனசுல, அவங்க அகத்துல இன்னும் அந்த ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்ல இருக்கிற மாதிரியே இருக்கு. எப்போதும் அவங்கள பத்தி மென்டலா அவங்களோடவே வாழ்றது. இப்ப நீங்க சொன்னீங்க இல்லைங்க, மொமெண்ட் டு மொமெண்ட் வந்து புதுசு. அது பாஸ்ட்ல நடந்தது, மொமெண்ட் டு மொமெண்ட் புதுசு. நம்ம let go பண்ணணும். இவங்களுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி பார்த்து
இது பிரேக் ஆகி வருதுமா, பிரேக் ஆகி வருது.
ஹலோ,
Yes.
இப்போ கேக்குது.
அதுதான் இவங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஒரு விஷயம் நடந்துருச்சு, முடிஞ்சிருச்சுன்னு சொல்லி அந்த மாதிரி அதை விட்டு வெளியில வர முடியல. அதாவது ஏற்கனவே இவங்களுக்கு வந்து டிவோர்ஸ் ஆயிருக்கு, அவங்க ஹஸ்பண்டோட விவாகரத்து முடிஞ்ச பிறகு அதை மறக்க வந்து ரொம்ப வருஷம் ஆச்சு. அப்புறம் இது இப்போ இந்த ஒருத்தரோட ஒரு ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்ல இருந்திருக்காங்க, அது முடிஞ்சு வெளியில வர்றது அவங்களுக்கு உள்ள பிசிக்கல் வேர்ல்ட்ல அவங்க தெரிஞ்சுட்டாங்க. ஆனா உள்ள இவங்க உள்ள பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் அது வந்து ஒரு நிகழ்ந்த விஷயம் மாதிரி இல்ல. இன்னும் அவரோட வாழ்ற மாதிரி வாழ்ற மாதிரி இன்னும் அவங்களுக்கு மென்டலி மைண்ட் அளவுல இதை வந்து மறக்க முடியல, அதை விட்டு வெளியில வர முடியல.
Okay. But here, so externally the relationship it is over, but psychologically you have some related to the old relationship. So it is a kind, it is a thought, it is not a thinking. So whatever may come, we have to treat it as a thought. We need not worry about that. But you should not give life to the thought. If you give life to the thought, that you make the thought into thinking. So thinking is always in our control. So if the thought happens to be thinking unconsciously, you need not worry about that. But if you mind it is only thought and you do not worry about the thought will slowly free from yourself. It will lose its strength gradually. You need not worry about the thought. But naturally the thought will come like that. You need not worry about the thought. It is natural. You have not created the thought. The thought comes on its own. So whatever comes on its own will go away on its own. You need not worry about that. But you should not, if you try to expect something other than the thought, then only you are enter within the thought. So you don't enter within the thought. You don't mind the thought. You understand the thought. It is unconsciously torturing yourself, unconsciously coming yourself. So you have to understand it is coming unconsciously. That alone is enough.
Thank you. Lanir, can you please translate?
כן, אז שרי בגבת אומר שהוא הכניס כאן את המושג של thinking and thought, או חשיבה ומחשבה. אז היחסים הפיזיים שלך עם הבן אדם הסתיימו, אבל יש מחשבות שמגיעות כל הזמן. אז
כן.
כל עוד זה מחשבות שמגיעות מעצמן, אז אפשר לקרוא לזה מחשבות, או thought. אבל אם את מתחילה להתערב ולאמץ ולהתערבב עם המחשבות האלה, אז זה מה שהופך להיות חשיבה. ואז זה למעשה מה שנותן את הכוח למנגנון הזה להמשיך הלאה. אם את יכולה להשאיר את המחשבות בגדר של מחשבות ולא להתערבב איתם, לא לתת להם משקל, לא לאמץ אותם, לא לתת להם חשיבות גדולה, אז הם לאט לאט ילכו ויעלמו. אבל אם את נותנת להם חשיבות, אם את מאמצת אותם, אם את מתערבבת איתם, אז הם מקבלים את הכוח. הם מקבלים את הכוח מהתשומת לב ומהמעורבות שלך.
Lanir, can I add something? Lanir?
בבקשה, בבקשה.
If she wants, I forgot her name, Hagit?
Galit.
Galit. I'm older than you, and I can give you a little bit of advice from my experience. I am married for 45 years with a man who is hardly talk about anything. I mean, he talk about like work or children, but nothing deeply. And by the years, it gave me a lot of problem. But now I realized after many, many years that I can't change him. It's something in his genetics. And usually men are much less verbal than women. So there were times that I thought I would leave him, and then I thought, but we have a lot in common, and we do things together. Of course, if you have children together, there's little children, you have to think twice about it. But my advice to you is not to try to change him. Only try to change yourself, and don't insult. Now, when we are older and we are alone in the house, both of us, we had a difficult time through this Corona time. And of course, I took some advice from psychologists and physiotherapists and everything. And now I came to a conclusion, at least I'm almost 70, that I can't change him. If I started talking about something that I even don't know how he feels about me, but I know he's not living. If we are not good in together, why he's not living? So maybe he likes to be with me. I don't know anything about what's going in his mind, but I decided that it's better for me to stay with him and to change myself, to do my own things. And of course, we have a lot of things in common besides the children and grandchildren. So the change can be only from you and not from him. And you still can be with a man, because men are much less verbal. I'm not talking about Lanier personally, but there are not a lot of people like Lanier. Most men I know, they don't want to talk deeply. Even when
Yes,
I say
I know this, but it's not the problem. It's much, much more complicated, because he also loves men. He is gay, and we have very deep relationship. And any time that I try to adjust myself and to expect less, so he bring it to more or less and more or less and more or less. It's really, I tried everything. I'm for 20 years, and I really try everything, because the relationship is very, very deep. And all my relationship with men are very deep, but not match with something that it's not suitable, and it's very difficult to make it suitable, to make it work. And my relationship with men is very difficult, because in one hand I have very deep relationship, like for 20 years, but the man is half gay and they have problems with women. It's more complicated than what you think.
It's easy. It's easier if he's gay. It's solve your problem.
No, but with me, with me, he's not gay. With me, it's very, very strong relationship with men and women. So it's very complicated, really. I tried everything, believe me.
But you know that when time passed, how many times you fell in love in our short life? Maybe once, or if you are lucky, twice. Not more than that. So, but I think that time will cure. And even if you find somebody else, if he's good to you, even if you don't fall in love with him, but if he's good to you and he accept your children, maybe this will be also a solution.
Yeah, but this is not happening in my life. I don't have other men. It's this, and
But you have to look. He's not going to fall from the roof. You have to make a lot of effort. Like I have a daughter.
I don't make effort. I finished to make effort.
That's your problem. I have a daughter. She's 40, and she was single for many years. She's a difficult person, but she's very lovely. And after many years in New York, she decided she wants to come back to Israel and find an Israeli guy. And she find a divorced man with two children. She made a big compromise, but now she has a baby, and she compromised. They live in far from us in I forgot the name, Menashe. because he has to take care of the children with his ex-wife. So she has to live there, not like in New York, the opposite of New York. So you have to, if you want really to forget him, you have to make an effort and to be disappointed many times and to find a good person that will be good for you and for your children.
But Shri Bagavath, I want please to ask you this, because she tells me to make an effort, but I don't make an effort. I don't look for other men, you know? I just want to free myself. I don't go in the world to look for a man. It's too much for me. I'm perfectly good alone. Like I'm not looking for, but it just this connection that never goes away. That's what I asked you, but I understand what you say, not to give power to the thought.
Sangeeta,
ஐயா
line is Sangeeta, Sangeeta பேசுங்க. Sangeeta என்ன சொல்றாங்க அவங்க ரெண்டு பேரும்?
ஐயா அவங்க என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா, இப்போ இன்னொருத்தவங்க வந்து ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கிட்டாங்க இல்லைங்க. இது ப்ராப்ளம் வந்து புரியுது. அதாவது வந்து இப்போ வந்து இவங்களுக்கு வந்து இப்போ ஹஸ்பண்ட் இது பாய் ஃப்ரெண்ட் அந்த மாரி யாரும் இல்ல. ஸோ இன்னொருத்தவங்க என்ன சொன்னாங்கன்னா வந்து மென்னோட நேச்சர் வந்து இப்படிதான். அவங்க ரொம்ப வந்து ஷேர் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. அந்த மாரி சொல்லும்போது இவங்க வந்து சொல்றாங்க, இவங்க சொல்றாங்க இப்போ இப்போ ஷி இஸ் நாட் லுக்கிங் ஃபார் அதர் மென் ஆர் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்ஸ். அவங்களோட லைஃப்ல இன்னொரு மென்னு வரணும் அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் அவங்க வந்து யோசிக்கல. அவங்களுக்கு இது வந்து முடிஞ்சிருச்சு. ஆனா இந்த ஒரு பர்சனை வந்து அவங்கனால விட முடியல. அதாவது மென்டலி இந்த ஒரு பர்சனை வந்து அவங்கனால விட முடியல. இதுக்கு இன்னொரு கான்டெக்ட் இருக்குங்க. அந்த இவங்க பேசுற ஒரு பர்சன் வந்து அவரை வந்து கேயா, கேன்னா அவருக்கு இன்னொரு ஆண்களை தான் பிடிக்கும். ஆனா இவங்க கூட இருக்கும்போது அந்த மாதிரி இல்லன்னு இவங்க சொல்றாங்க. இவங்க இதுக்கப்புறம் இன்னொரு மென்னுல எல்லாம் இவங்களுக்கு எந்த ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட்டுமே இல்ல. இவங்க மேல மட்டும்தான் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்கிற மாதிரி இதுக்கு வந்து பதிலுக்கு வந்து அவங்க இன்னொரு லேடி பேசினாங்க இல்லைங்க. அவங்க சொன்னாங்க, நீங்க வந்து நீங்க கொஞ்சம் எஃபர்ட் எடுக்கணும். ஏன்னா அவங்களுக்கும் ரொம்ப வயசு, ஒரு 40 வயசுல ஒரு பொண்ணு இருக்கு. அவங்களும் கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டப்பட்டு தான் தனக்குன்னு ஒரு ஹஸ்பண்ட் தேடி எடுத்துக்க. இவங்க வந்து கொஞ்சம் எஃபர்ட் எடுக்கணும். வெளியில போய் பாக்குறது, மத்தவங்களோட பேசுறது, எஃபர்ட் எடுக்கணும்னு அந்த மாதிரி சொல்லும்போது இவங்க சொல்றாங்க, இல்ல எனக்கு அதெல்லாம் முடிஞ்சு போச்சு. எனக்கு இனிமே ஆண்கள்ல எந்த விதமான இன்ட்ரெஸ்டும் இல்ல. எனக்கு இவர் ஒருத்தர் தான் என்னால வந்து விட முடியலன்னு சொல்றாங்க.
So anyhow, we have to satisfy with ourselves. That is the first thing. So sometimes we may rely upon the other person. So mostly we have to rely upon ourselves. Sometimes we may rely upon the other person also. That is the main principle. And when we rely upon ourselves, we can content with ourselves. When we have to rely upon ourselves, that whatever is past, whatever may be the memory, we have to dismiss all the memory. The memory may be used for our action in our external world. So we can select some deserving person as our friend or any other relationship. We can select, but at the same time, expecting more and more from the other person may have some reaction within ourselves. So the main thing is that we have to satisfy with ourselves. That is the main thing. Satisfying means we are not content with any emotions. We are not we are not stick to with any emotion. So whatever the emotion comes, we have to dismiss anything. So we have to free of any emotions. We have to, whatever comes, we have to move from one emotion to the other. We need not catch hold of any emotion. We have to free flow with all emotions. When we free from all emotions, then we can, we ourselves it is a satisfactory level. If you are select any emotion forever, it is not satisfactory. So we have to be free from all emotions. Good emotion, bad emotion, we have to free from all emotions. It is already free. You need not let it anything. We need not let go anything. It is already going. So we should not catch hold of any emotions within ourselves. Then only we can free ourselves. So the freedom alone is the highest thing for our psychological life. So psychologically, we must be free for everything. Then only, but at the same time, we have some relationship. The relationship with the other person may have some, but at the same time, we need not be, we should not lose ourselves. We should not lose our psychological freedom. Whatever may be the, each and every moment, we must be new. We must be free from all the emotions. So that, so in that aspect, we can contact with any persons. We can have our life with any other person. So the psychological freedom must be, that means reaction is natural. Well, whatever maybe the situation, according to the situation, some good emotion or adverse emotion may come. So each and every moment, if you have the tendency to free anything from yourself, all emotion from yourself, then we can establish a freedom within yourself. So in the psychological freedom, your relationship with the other person will be different. So in that different aspect, you can connect with any person.
Thank you. Lanir, can you please translate?
כן, אז שרי בגבת דיבר בעצם על זה שהדבר החשוב ביותר זה זאת אומרת, שיהיה לך את היכולת לא להיאחז ולא לדחות שום דבר בתוך עצמך. ואז יש שם את הזרימה החופשית של הנפש מרגע לרגע, שהוא קורא לזה חופש, שחרור. וכשזה המצב שלך, ואת משתמש במשפט, את מסתפקת בעצמך, או מרוצה מהעולם הפנימי שלך, אז היחסים שלך עם בני זוג, הם לא יהיו תוצר של צורך בתלות, אלא יותר של sharing, של שיתוף. ואז מה שבא ברוך הבא, ומה שהולך, הולך לשלום, כמו שלילי הייתה אומרת.
כן. כן. Thank you. Thank you, Shri Bagavath. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other problems? Shall we have to discuss?
Don't know where to start. No problem.
I would love to ask a question.
היי חגי, כן, אתה יכול לדבר, חגי.
Hello, Shri Bagavath. Thank you for your time. My question is about sometimes I see it and feel it as conflict. So I call it the conflict between the outside action and the inside state of mind. This feeling that is very challenging for me sometimes to have specific ideas and hold on to them for outside action, meanwhile letting everything flow in my inner world. I want to act in specific ways outside, but I want to allow everything inside. And I feel that I have this fear or idea in me that if I let everything be as it is inside, this will not allow me to have specific ideas or ideals for my outside work. Then I found myself losing all the flow inside of me because my outside action is not being aligned with my ideas about how it should be. And
So, for example, we are having some project in our day-to-day work in our business or anything. We have some project, and we have to finish the work within a short period. But according to the circumstances, it may be some different delay in executing the project. It may create some tension within ourselves. So the tension, we need not let go the tension. We need not we need not allow the tension to flow. So we have no business. Let it be there. We need not worry about the flow. We need not worry about the flow. We need not worry about the tension. So we have no business with related to the tension. So the tension alone, because our concern must be only to finish the work. So our focus must be only related to the work. It should not be related to our psychological emotion. The psychological emotion may be a tension. It may be a fear. It may be a sorrow. But we need not worry about well, it has to flow. It has to go from ourselves. You need not worry about that. You see, we have to understand it is natural. In that situation, whatever comes in the psychological world as a fear or a tension, we have to accept it as a natural reaction. But our concern must be, our focus must be related to the work. How we have to execute the work in a proper way. So then only we can, what are the defects we have committed and how to execute the work without any defect. So we have to focus our attention to the work. So when attention is focused upon the work, then already whatever happening in the psychological world in the form of tension or fear, it will be converted into some kind of energy to execute your work. So all the negative emotion will be converted into positive energy. So the positive energy will help your work. So you need not worry about the negative emotions. Lanir, you can translate.
כן, אז שבגבת אומר כאן, למעשה אנחנו לא צריכים לתת שום חשיבות למה שקורה בעולם הפנימי. זאת אומרת, מהרגע שחקרנו והסתכלנו וראינו, אז אנחנו מגיעים למסקנה שאין לנו עבודה לעשות בעולם הפנימי. גם לא העבודה של לתת לעולם הפנימי לזרום. זאת גם עבודה שאנחנו לא צריכים לקחת על עצמנו. אז מאותו רגע שהגענו למסקנה הזאת, אז כל תשומת הלב שלנו הולכת למטלה שנמצאת כרגע מולנו. יש לנו איזה פרויקט, אנחנו עושים הכל על מנת שהפרויקט הזה יצליח, ואנחנו לא נותנים חשיבות בכלל למה שקורה מבפנים. זורם או לא זורם, עומד או לא עומד, פחד או חרדה או קיווט, לא משנה מה שקורה בפנים, אנחנו פשוט מניחים לזה ולא מתעסקים עם זה, וכל תשומת הלב שלנו מופנית כלפי הפרויקט שאותו אנחנו אמורים להשלים, וכאשר אנחנו באמת עושים את זה, אז מה שנראה זה שכל העולם הפנימי שלנו מתגייס לצורך הגשמת הפרויקט, והרגשות השליליים שעלו הם עוברים טרנספורמציה והופכים לאנרגיה שתעזור לנו לבצע את הפרויקט הזה על הצד הטוב ביותר. That's it, שבגן.
אוקיי.
חגי, אתה רוצה להמשיך לחקור בנושא הזה, או שהתשובה סיפקה אותך?
I think so, yeah. Something is popping up about the same subject for me, that this the part of the exchange between my inner world to the outside action. It's like when I do the outside action, it's coming from something inside of me that I act upon. And this flow or direction of happenings that I have internal experience, and I take it to be something to be act upon, and so I act upon it. This I feel that the process of listening inside my inner world to hear what is the thing that I want to act upon, what is the inner experience which is right, which is good for my outside action, and what is the inner movement that I don't want to take for the outside action. And I feel in this area, many times I find myself creating turbulence or not, or preventing this flow, because I feel something and I say maybe I should act upon it. But then when I try to think for my outside action, I find myself thinking on my inner, like because I see the outside action as having good and bad and right and wrong, then this very challenging for me how I maintain this thinking, seeing every time again for the outside action, it was right, it was wrong, it was good, it was bad, and not take this on my inner. For example, I have a feeling inside of me, I make a decision. Then I feel it was good or it was bad. And I say to myself, okay, this action was bad, was not accurate action. Next time I want to do better. But then when the inner flow or the inner world is going to the same place, then this is very challenging for me not to say, no, this is bad. I say this is bad for the outside action, and then I say this in a way also to my inner world, or if it's good, the same. So that's it. How can I maintain this watching myself, having not criticism but observation for my outside, not only observation but observation with an agenda for my outside action, and not have observation with agenda for my inner world. This is the question.
சங்கீதா என்ன சொல்றாங்க அவங்க?
ஐயா ஒரு நிமிஷங்க, அவங்க கிட்ட இன்னும் ஒரு வார்த்தை நான் கிளாரிஃபை பண்ணிக்கணும். So Nogali, I just want to make sure I have understood you clearly. What you are saying is your actions are based on your inner feelings and emotions, but you are not always able to watch your inner feelings and inner thoughts and emotions and regularize your actions accordingly. For example, sometimes based on an inner feeling, you make an action and that action ends up wrong. So next time you are not able to watch your inner feeling and correct it and do the right action. So you're telling, how do you monitor your inner feelings and thoughts with an agenda to regulate your outside actions? Is this your question? Have I understood you well?
Very close, I feel. This like my question is, how can I have observation with agenda for my outside action, and observation without agenda for my inner at the same time?
Okay, so you want to have an observation with, you want to observe, you want to have an agenda on your outside actions, and you just want to observe your inner selves without any agenda. Is that what you're telling? Or judgment? So by agenda, you mean judgment. That's what you're
Yes,
saying.
exactly. That this loop that every time I find myself that I'm afraid, or I'm afraid that if I don't have any agenda for my inside, I don't manage to hold
Oh,
an agenda for the outside. And when I hold the agenda for the outside, I feel I find myself holding the agenda also for the inside.
so you're saying that when you are lacking, so when you do not judge yourself inside, you fear that your actions will become without judgment, without the distinction between right or wrong. And when you feel you are when you're judging your actions right or wrong, you feel you are applying the same judgment to yourself inside. I hope I have understood you well.
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, fine. ஐயா
Hmm.
இவங்க என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா, இவங்களுக்கு உள்ள சில தாட்ஸ், இமோஷன்ஸ் வருது. அத வச்சு இவங்க புற உலகத்துல சில ஆக்ஷன்ஸ் எடுக்குறாங்க. சில டைம் இமோஷன்ஸ் வச்சு ஒரு டிசிஷன் எடுத்து வெளியில எடுக்கிற ஆக்ஷன் வந்து தப்பா போகுது. அப்ப நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம் திருத்திக்கணும்னு நினைச்சாலுமே அடுத்த தடவை அந்த தாட் அண்ட் இமோஷன் வரும்போது அவங்க அதே மாதிரிதான் தப்பு செய்யறாங்க. இப்போ இவங்களோட சந்தேகம் என்னன்னா, உள் உலகத்துல வந்து சரி தப்பு எதுவுமே இல்ல. உள் உலகத்துல நான் சரி தப்புன்னு அந்த மாதிரி வேறுபாடு நம்ம பிரிச்சு பார்த்தேன்னா, எனக்கு வந்து வெளி உலகத்துல வந்து சரி தப்புன்னு இருக்குல்ல, வெளி உலகமும் இப்படியோ ஆயுமோன்னு இப்படியோ ஆயிடுமோன்னு. அதாவது வெளியில நம்ம ஆக்ஷன்ஸ் கூட நம்ம சரி தவறுன்னு பிரிச்சு பார்க்க முடியாது, பார்க்க முடியாம போயிடுமோன்னு சொல்லி சொல்றாரு. அதே மாதிரி வெளி உலகத்துல வந்து நம்மளோட செயல்களுக்கு எல்லாமே வந்து கரெக்ட் தவறுன்னு ஒரு ஒரு ஜட்ஜ்மெண்ட் இருக்கு. ஜட்ஜ்மெண்ட்னா நீதி தர்மம் இப்படி இருக்குன்னு. ஆனா வெளி உலகத்துல செயலுக்கு இப்படி பண்ணி இதே வந்து அவருக்கு உள் உலகத்திலயும் வருது. சோ உள்ள இதே ரூல்ஸ உள்ள அப்ளை பண்றாரு. ரைட் ராங்ன்னு சொல்லி தன்னோட இமோஷன்ஸ வந்து ஜட்ஜ் பண்றாருங்க. அதாவது வெளியில பண்றது
உள்ள உலகத்துல எதை ஜட்ஜ் பண்றாரு? உள்ள உலகத்துல எது தப்பு ரைட்னு ஜட்ஜ் பண்றாரு?
இல்ல எது தப்பு ரைட்னு ஜட்ஜ் பண்றது இல்லைங்க. வெளியில நம்மளோட ஆக்ஷன்ஸ் ரைட் ராங்ன்னு பிரிச்சு பார்த்து அதே பழக்கம் வந்து உள்ள வருதுங்க. உள்ளயும் இமோஷன்ஸ் ரைட் ராங்ன்னு வந்து பிரிக்க தோணுது. உள்ள வந்து அப்படி பிரிச்சு பார்க்காம எல்லாமே கரெக்ட் தான் எடுத்துக்கிட்டா அதே இது வந்து ஆக்ஷன்ஸும் வந்துருமோன்னு சொல்லி தோணுது. சோ எப்படி இத வந்து பிரிக்கிறது? எப்படி வெளி உலகத்துல ரைட் தவறுன்ற ஜட்ஜ்மெண்ட் இருக்கணும். ஆனா உள்ள எல்லாமே ரைட்ன்ற இது இருக்கணும். இது எப்படி பிரிக்கிறது? எப்படி பண்றதுன்னு சொல்லி கேக்குறாங்க.
So here, the external world alone is the real world. So psychological world, psychological emotions, psychological thoughts, so what are related to the external world, that alone must be real. So other thing is not real. So whatever happening in the psychological world, whether it is related to the external world, external work, we have to consider. So other thing, we need not worry about that. So sometimes we may think we may have some good emotions alone, good thought alone. We should not have any bad emotion. We should not have any negative emotions. We should not have any negative thought. So in this way, we need not arrange ourselves. So we have to arrange the external world. We should not arrange the psychological world. Arrange the physical world is correct, but arrange the psychological world is wrong. So you need not worry about that. So we have to come to a conclusion that we have no arrangement. No arrangement is necessary in the psychological world. So if you give importance to the external world alone, so the necessary thought, necessary emotion will be coming related to the work for the external world. So sometimes it may not match. Some unnecessary emotion not suitable to the external world may also come. But at the same time, you need not worry about that. Whatever arrangement may have, it will arrange itself. We have to leave the arrangement for itself. So our concern must be only to the external world alone. We need not confuse with what is inward and what is psychological, what is external. So our concern must be only to the external world alone. So if you have any idea, if you have any doubt whether it is psychological world or external world, so if some doubtful situation is there, that whatever it is doubtful, we have to leave it as a psychological. It is the inner world. So what is open and evidently clear, that alone is the external world. So the doubtful situation is always in the psychological world. It is the inner world. So the physical world, the external world is always evident and clear. So you have to be sure about the external world. So whatever you have to do in the external world, that alone is the real thing. That alone you have to consider. But in the psychological world, general conclusion is enough. We have no work in the psychological world. This conclusion is enough. You need not let go anything. You need not clear any psychological emotion. The psychological emotion, psychological world must take care of itself. We have no idea, we have no work related to the psychological world, the inner world. Liner, you translate.
כן, אז שרי בגב"ת בעצם חוזר על מה שהוא בדרך כלל אומר, שהחשיבות היחידה שאנחנו נותנים זה בעצם לעולם החיצוני ולפעולה בעולם החיצוני. וכל מה שעולה בעולם הפנימי, בין אם הוא עוזר לנו ומכוון אותנו לפעולה נכונה בעולם, ובין אם זה אולי איזה רגש או מחשבה שהיא לא מתאימה לפעולה הזאת, בשני המקרים אנחנו לא צריכים לתת חשיבות למה שקורה בעולם הפנימי, ואך ורק לתת חשיבות לפעולה בעולם החיצוני. ומשאירים את העולם הפנימי לדאוג לעצמו. הוא לא צריך להיות משהו מסוים מהעולם הפנימי. הוא גם לא צריך להיות בזרימה, העולם הפנימי. העולם הפנימי הוא משהו, הוא יכול להיות תקוע, הוא יכול להיות בדיכאון, הוא יכול להיות משהו לא יהיה. אין שום אג'נדה לגבי העולם הפנימי. וגם אם יש אג'נדה, גם את זה אנחנו מניחים. זאת אומרת, כל מה שקורה מבחינה פנימית הוא לא באחריות שלנו ולא בשליטה שלנו. כולל זה שאנחנו לא צריכים להיות עם אג'נדה שם, זה שום דבר. גם אם נהיה עם אג'נדה וגם אם נהיה עם מחשבות שנתקעות וגם אם נהיה עם כל דבר, זה המצב, ואנחנו לא צריכים לעשות איתו שום דבר. הפוקוס היחידי שלנו הוא על הפעולה בעולם החיצוני, ואיך לעשות אותה על הצד הטוב ביותר, ושהעולם הפנימי ידאג לעצמו, העולם הפנימי יסתדר מעצמו. That's it, Bagavath.
Okay. Now we can see the next problem in the next week. Okay.
So, thank you, everybody.
תודה רבה, thank you very much. תודה רבה לגלית גם כן, ולרון, ולכולם ששיתפו אותנו. תודה לכם.
Thank you, Sri Bagavath. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
שבוע טוב לכולם, שבוע טוב.
שבוע טוב.
תודה לנירוש, תודה.
תודה.
ביי.
Bye.
So wait for the next problem. Okay, we will have a sweet problem next week. Okay, I will stop recording.